sir.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've brought us to. We thank you for our county and for our state and for our country. Lord, we ask that you be with us this morning as decisions are made that will affect many, many people. It'll be the right decision that the judge and the magistrates will make today, because we ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Brother Manning.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Welcome, everybody. It is a beautiful day out, and we have a huge crowd here today. We have probably twice as many outside as we have inside, so we want to welcome everybody today. And if I anticipate there'll be several people that'll be online watching today, want to welcome those folks as well, and grateful for your attendance and your participation today with us. I assume that everybody's had an opportunity to look over the minutes, and we're referring to both sets of minutes, both our regularly scheduled December 17th and our special call December 30th that dealt with the hiring at the road department. Are there any corrections or additions that need to be made? Seeing none, those will stand approved as read. Thank you. First thing we have this morning on our official agenda is Miss Amelia Wilson with Representative Comer's office. Amelia, if I could invite you up here so the folks outside can hear what's happening. How about you use that one? And I think everybody in here will hear you. And there we go.
Okay, well, I just want to say thank you all for being here and inviting me. Sorry, you want me a little louder. Thank you all so much for having me and inviting me. I just want to talk about two things. First is the Second Amendment. Congressman Comer, of course, is a huge supporter of this. He's been online, he's been on the House floor, so you can go onto social media, YouTube, and you'll find his remarks on the Second Amendment. And then the second thing is community office hours. We're going to be here on February 25th, right after the fiscal court meeting. And if you have any type of federal issues, such as Social Security, VA, any kind of issue like that, feel free to let us know. We have a great casework team, and they'll be happy to help in any way that they can. Thank you all.
Thank you, Amelia. That's all right. Before we move on, do any of the magistrates have any questions for Amelia? We have a great partnership with Congressman Comer and Amelia. She is here very often, and we stay in close contact. And nobody works harder for this end of the state than Amelia does, and so we're thankful for her. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amelia, do you have an update on, I know Congressman Comer was working on for teachers who are not qualified
Well, right now,
for
there's
Social
a lot
Security?
going on in D.C.
Right, you think?
So right now, that's kind of been, it's on the side of the issue right now. It is something that he is concerned about and wants to see done. But right now, there's not a whole lot that anybody can do
Right.
with the things going on right now. So, but I'll continue to keep you updated as soon as I know more.
Right.
There's not really been much of a change.
Well, I appreciate it. So it's still on his bucket
It's
list?
still on his list, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'd like to ask if he's still looking at our airport and our Sturgis trying to
Yes,
move
he is.
something in down there for us. We
He
could
is,
use
yes.
some jobs down there into the county.
Absolutely, and he has such a good, close relationship to Judge O'Dan too, so he knows things that's important to him, but yes, that is something that's on the list.
That is, I'm glad Amelia brought that up. It is nice to have those contacts with those folks, and they're very helpful to us, and certainly not just a direct line to him, but I try to go through Amelia most of the time because he has probably 1,000 people, and she can sort out what needs to go forward and what they can take care of. And I will just encourage anybody that has VA issues or Social Security issues. They will jump in and do their best to help. So be sure and come back next week or next meeting, the 24th, February 25th. Okay, my apologies, February 25th. She'll be back here and can get into the nuts and bolts of issues and be of help to you if you need that. So,
Definitely need to take advantage of her being here. I mean,
absolutely.
Thank you for
that's
all
what
you
we're here
do.
for. That's what we're here for.
You all are a great group to work with. So
Thank you.
Anytime, contact me.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, yeah, we're making a connection already. Good, good. Next on the agenda this morning, we have our Second Amendment resolution. And if you would indulge me just a minute, I'd like to give just a little bit of history. And I know Jeff, Chief Hart's going to speak here in a minute as the spokesman for the group after I read this resolution. This resolution, this movement that's moved across the state of Kentucky is born out of what has happened in Virginia, where the legislature has passed some pretty strict anti-gun laws that many feel are infringements on the Second Amendment. Further adding to that issue is the fact that the governor has made some statements regarding National Guard, things of that nature that are tough for us to hear about going to come in and take things. So this movement has started in the eastern part of the state and has rapidly, I was going to say slowly, but it's actually rapidly, has moved its way all the way across the state of Kentucky. And most fiscal courts are addressing this issue in some form or fashion. Ours today, in the way that I chose to do this, and I've talked to Chief Hart, is going to be a resolution in strong support of our Second Amendment in the Constitution, basically, but the Second Amendment in particular, as where we also urge those in state legislature not to pass any bills that would infringe further upon those. And so I want to give a little bit of history. You've heard a lot of movement about the sanctuary cities or sanctuary counties, and my concern is this, that when I'm long gone from this position, and these gentlemen are long gone from this position, we don't want to do anything that would be punitive to Union County. And while we all would agree that we would like to be, in essence, a sanctuary county for gun rights, in which we are, we don't want to use that language in a resolution that would set a precedent that would set us up to be a sanctuary county for illegals, which none of us would want to do either. And so we got to be very close, be very careful about how we approach. And in my opinion, because of our legislative stance on these pre-filed bills, which if they get out of committee, I'd be highly surprised. And the only reason they'll get out of committee is to show how firmly they'll be voted down. So I think this is the proper response at this time. If that changes, we can always change our response as well. And certainly want to be proactive in that. And so we're going to do this resolution. We're going to read this, and certainly Chief Hart's going to speak, and then the magistrates will have an opportunity to address and give their feelings on this. So not only are we doing this Second Amendment resolution today, I vow to spend part of my time while I'm in Frankfort making sure that our voice from Union County is heard regarding this issue with the state legislatures, both in the House and the Senate. And so we have very strong leadership from this end of the state. Both Senator Mills and Representative Miles are strong supporters of the Second Amendment. We don't have any worries there, but I think we get a little nervous when people start talking about infringements and things of that nature. So this is to address this. This a resolution basically says to the county, this is our collective view on this issue, depending on how this vote goes. And so I'd like to read this, and then we'll move on from there. Resolution 2020-1 declaring Union County's support for the Second Amendment. Whereas the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of our nation, and whereas the Second Amendment to the Constitution states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And whereas the United States Supreme Court has affirmed an individual's right to possess firearms unconnected with service in a military for traditionally lawful purposes such as self-defense within the home. And whereas the United States Supreme Court has affirmed that the right of an individual to keep and bear arms as protected under the Second Amendment is incorporated by the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment against the states. And whereas the Union County Fiscal Court is concerned about the passage of any bill containing language which could be interpreted as infringing the rights of the law-abiding citizens of Union County to keep and bear arms. And whereas the Union County Fiscal Court wishes to express its deep commitment to the rights of all citizens of Union County to keep and bear arms, and whereas the Union County Fiscal Court wishes to express opposition to passage of any law that would unconstitutionally restrict the rights of the citizens of Union County to keep and bear arms, and whereas the Union County Fiscal Court wishes to express its intent to stand for our Second Amendment rights and to oppose within the limits of the Constitution of the United States and the Commonwealth of Kentucky any efforts to unconstitutionally restrict such rights. Therefore, be it resolved that the people of Union County, through their duly elected fiscal court, hereby request that our state and federal legislators pass no laws which would infringe on our constitutional Second Amendment right in order to preserve for the people of Union County their rights guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States of America. Furthermore, that the Union County Fiscal Court hereby expresses its intent to uphold the Second Amendment rights of the citizens of Union County, Kentucky, and furthermore, that the Union County Fiscal Court hereby declares its intent to oppose any infringement on the right of law-abiding citizens to keep and bear arms. We, the Fiscal Court of Union County, through this resolution hereby declare our rights, our freedom, and our liberty as guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States of America, adopted this 14th day of January 2020.
I move we adopt resolution 2020-1 as presented to us.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion moved and second. We'll now go for discussion. Chief Hart, I'm gonna go with you first, if that's okay, and you can have this microphone.
On behalf of the 1,954 members of the Union County chapter of Kentucky United, the 83,000 plus statewide, we appreciate you addressing this issue for us. We believe that by the end of the day, we'll have 85 counties that have passed some form of resolution or ordinance in support of this, which we think sends a very strong message to Frankfurt that we're not going to accept any additional laws that infringe on the Second Amendment rights. Thank you all for your service. I appreciate it.
Any magistrates have anything they'd like to address?
I just make a comment. I'm like most of you here today. I'm a gun owner, have been all my life. But more importantly, I'm a citizen of this country, and I respect and appreciate the Constitution that this country was founded under. And I will always stand against any infringement on any of our rights as defined in the Constitution. So I will be voting in the affirmative to the no vote. I support the movement.
Magistrate White, use the microphone so those outside can hear if we can. I don't know if it'll reach all the way over, but.
I agree with Jim Ricketts, 100%. When they start coming in on our rights, it's time for us to stand up. And I appreciate everybody that has showed up here today. And I support this. Thank you.
I feel the same way. I've had a lot of calls in support of this. So we've all here to support the Constitution, the resolution, and I think we're all in agreement with that.
You have anything to say, Kim? Kim? Anybody down here want this, and I don't know if it'll quite reach. I think it can hear you if you just talk loud enough, Jim. Oh, I'm sorry.
My motion to accept this resolution, and I will vote in favor of it. I am for it. When we took our oath of office, This is what the Constitution said. I support what the Constitution said at that time. I still support what it says. Do not want any change that would infringe or lessen our rights. When I'm in Frankfurt, I'll be talking to the governor and personally expressing the opinion of the people of Union County, how they feel. So thank y'all for being here today.
I'd just like to say, I served in the Navy during the Vietnam War,
You got a little more room now. There you go.
and that I believe in the Constitution to the fullest. And my dad was in 3 wars, so I know he believed in our Constitution. We fought World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam. Was in Vietnam while I was in the service to keep me out of harm's way. He was in a big old war. But still, I served during that period. And I think that means a lot to me. And I support this thing that we're coming with.
Thank you. I might add that, again, if you're watching on the internet, there are twice as many people out in the hall. And so for those of you all out there, we are appreciative of you showing up. There was I know the chief rallied, had a rally here at the courthouse last week, some point in time, and invited me to address the crowd. And there was well over 100, I'd say, here, men, women, and children. And it was great. It was a great group of folks. And Jim brings up a good point. I see lots of hats, veteran hats, throughout the crowd and out in the hall. And so for those of you that are veterans, thank you. Thank you for your service and what you've done to protect this very right that we have to come today together to affirm collectively as a court on where we stand. And so obviously we will talk to those folks in Frankfurt, and we will proudly add our name to that map that has a resolution has been adopted in Kentucky. And will we be 85 or 86?
We're at 60 right now. We have 25 fiscal courts that have it on the docket today.
Okay.
We're hoping to have 85 by the end of the day.
There's a lot of 85 by the end of the day, and we will do our part to join that number. And so, as always, we are always thankful for big crowds to join us, and it provides information to us as to people's interest in our government and where we are moving collectively together. So thank you again for taking time out of your day to come be part of ours. You have my gratitude. Thank you very much. All those in favor of Resolution 2020-1 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Amendment carried. Resolution carried. Thank you very much. One thing that I will add to this resolution, there's on these resolutions and proclamations that I'm privileged to be able to do, there's places for me to sign my name. Kim, as our court clerk, signs her name on this, but I'm going to invite any one of the magistrates that would like to sign this down the margin or on the top of it or under mine or over mine, however you'd like to do it, to be part of this resolution moving forward, where everybody has an opportunity to sign that. So I'll pass that down. I've already signed it, and we'll pass that down. Chief, you wanted to get a picture?
I'd love to get a photograph of the court. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think the best way for us to do this, and you want to go out front on the steps, we're gonna take just a timeout. Miss Regina, could you take a quick picture for us? We're gonna go out. I think you wanted the magistrates on the.
I'd like to see the group behind you, because we appreciate your support and we appreciate you taking this issue.
Okay, so we're gonna get down on the sidewalk, and we're gonna have all of our other folks. Mickey said he would move his vehicle, so. Well, you want out front? Yeah, we'll go out front. That's better. Yeah, it's better. And so we'll reconvene in just a minute. You're part of the court. You got to take pictures with us. Part of the team. Yeah, we put you in the very front.
You might turn it off here.
Is Ken off front? How's that work?
Yeah.
Kim go on
She does a
front?
piece on
Front center,
Front center?
front center.
Crisscross applesauce.
So we got a hockey player in our future or what?
How you doing? I'm well.
He's pretty good.
All right.
He's like a water bug.
Huh?
He's like a water bug on ice.
Oh, really? Well.
Or Ainsley's pretty good too. They're both pretty good.
What's up, Jerry? Good, how are you, man? Good.
We have a, give me your name and number.
Big crowd today.
Gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. No surprise.
All right.
All right. You have to get here so early, because Alan was like, why are you getting there so early? I go, "Do you want to find a seat in the car?"
But I think a lot of people will leave now. I think they'll leave. Some people will. Or they'll hang out in the lobby, in the hallway.
I said, "Really? Well,
I think he was overshooting the leader. Probably about 40 people. Maybe. Wasn't that Clinton?
Fine, how about you? I don't ever see your brother. Where they live? Both of them.
Warmed back up, didn't we?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's it.
I don't know what that is.
You well?
Feel a little better out there. Stuffy in here. Yes.
It'll be the last good day we're gonna have for a while.
I've seen that.
That temperature's gonna drop like a rock.
Oh, really? I hadn't looked at that. I just knew it was gonna rain, a chance of rain.
What a beautiful day.
Perfect day.
We ought to be down unloading groceries for Jerry or something.
Yeah.
I can do it.
I think Timmy's down there right now. Like that's me.
They're taking all volunteers, aren't you?
All volunteers. Fill up one
one of my good ones off for jury duty, and she got over here and they said, well, they're trying to get hold of you, but can't.
It happens a lot. Yeah, enjoy it.
There's the resolution there, Jim, if you want to say. Oh, you already signed it. Yeah.
I think those seats are probably going to be available now.
In the front row is available too.
Yeah.
I know you are.
Are we all back? Garrick, if you don't care, would you push that door too, please? I'll do that. I'll do that. Well, as soon as the meeting's over, I'll copy that, and Chief Hart wanted a copy as well, so I'll send all of you guys a copy. All right. I think we're ready to go back. Next on the agenda is our second reading of the 2020 Sheriff's Budget. I will read these numbers. We did this December 14th, at our first December meeting. We did this. And so our receipts for 2020 will be $864,130. That's $864,130. Total disbursements, $854,500. $854,500 with excess fees of $9,630. That's $9,630 of excess fees, and these numbers are the same numbers as our first reading in December. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next is to set the salaries for the county clerk's office. I'll read this, and then Garrick, I'll give you an opportunity to speak if you'd like. Pursuant to KRS 64.530 subsection 3, the fiscal court shall fix annually the maximum amount, including fringe benefits, which the officer may expend for deputies and assistants. The fiscal court of Union County, in compliance with state law, hereby sets the maximum amount which the county clerk of Union County may expend from fees during the calendar year 2020 at $263,463. That's $263,463 for deputies, assistants, and other employees. The maximum amount as set includes all amounts paid from fees for full-time salaries and wages, part-time salary and wages, vacation, and sick leave. Let me get a motion first, and then we'll go from there. I need a motion to approve, and then a second.
Second.
Motion to approve and second. Garrick, the floor is yours.
Yeah, not much of a comment, pretty much the same numbers last year. Appreciate you guys.
Garrick, how many employees do you have in your office? 5. That's you and 5 full-time. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda, Chris Winstead with our ambulance service. I'll turn it over to you first, and we'll let you give a little bit of report. If you don't care, step up to this microphone where Rick has turned around for you, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you, sir. And what we're doing is actually setting up so we can bid for a new ambulance. The ambulance that we'd be replacing, the 2011's got 204,000 miles on it currently, having a lot of mechanical issues with it. It's held up fairly well, so that's what we're doing, is asking you guys today to set a date which would be open, I guess, immediately after this meeting, set to bid a new ambulance that we would give us 2 weeks if we set the date for the next court meeting, give them 2 weeks to bid it out a new, and I set it up because there's some 2019s left, 2020s haven't quite come in yet to the factories, so I set it as to be able to bid a 2019 or 2020, obviously new, and with discussion with the judge and the road department, we still feel it would be a good idea to bid like we did the last ambulance we bid, the 2018, and bid it as a four-wheel drive. Truck type gives us more use for it at the end of the service as an ambulance. Plus with our road situation and, weather gives us opportunity, if we need it, it's there. We've got good service so far out of the 2018 that we bought. It's got 71,000 miles on it. That four-wheel drive, we've not had any issues. Currently, our fleet is all Chevrolet. But the way we're bidding this, we're bidding it as Chevrolet or Ford, with the diesel engine in it. Gives leeway for a few more trucks out there. So, that's what I'm asking you to do, is just submit for bids.
Okay. Now, this is just for a reminder, this is something that is in the budget, that we had put in the budget for a new ambulance for this year. There was not one last year, but we did this year, and so this money's been budgeted, and so we're going to, it'll go to bid, it'll go to advertisement, it'll be in the paper tomorrow and the next week, and then we'll open bids on January 28th. I'd like that in the form of a motion.
And Judge, just for information, sorry.
Sure, sure.
We do have $20,000 worth of grant money that we're going to purchase.
Okay.
For that, and that's $10,000 from last year and $10,000 this year.
Good, and thank you for reminding me of that.
I move purchase. Second.
Okay. Do the bidding?
So it's already, you got it where to go and take it?
Yeah, we're ready to go, and Chris has done a good job of getting the specs. He's brought some here for us to have. He will actually send those out to some folks as well, but they're here on hand. These are already printed up. I have a big packet, and so we can,
Electronically, if anybody wants them electronically.
yeah, we can do that.
Four, and they range from 2000, we have a 2011, 2012, 2015, and 2018. And they range from 204,000 miles down to 71,000 miles. We keep about I try to keep about a 40,000 mile variance between the years, so we can mechanically keep them where we need. And by the way, you guys do a great job with that. I want you to know that. County Garage does a great job. Appreciate everything they do. Appreciate your help, Judge's help.
Everything on the road right now?
603 is at the County Garage, but it's heading to Ravens today.
Okay.
Hopefully that situation will be
Good. Those are always priority that we have to get both from our first responders, ambulance, to our county fire trucks, things of that nature. We try to get them in and out pretty quick when they come down there. So
Which one's 603? 603. Which one's that, 12 or
That's the left. That's the one that's.
has the most miles. Okay.
That's good.
That's the one that's getting ready to go out.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
I know we do a lot of work down there, and I know they do a lot of work on the fire trucks, we just do a lot of work on all that.
Right. And this is a little separate, but we do have, and I know most of you guys know, we have a paramedic, Rick Turner, that's had a major surgery in the last week. He's coming home today, so please keep him in mind that he's going to have a long recovery, so he's cooperating.
How do you feel about your staff, just in general, like, just, we're hurting?
But it's not just here, sir, it's nationwide, but it seems like the state of Kentucky's get awful hard. We're down, I'll tell you, we're down one full-time paramedic here in the county. It's been about 200 days since we've had an applicant for that position, okay? And it's been posted that long, and not had an applicant. And it has to do with our work call schedule, because of the volume that we have in the county. And it's, we've worked this schedule for a long time, since I was here back in the early 90s. They work 84 hours of work, 84 hours of call. Basically, St. Webster County basically does the same thing because of volume. And it's hard to get somebody committed to 168 hours every 2 weeks, if you live here in the county and you're a county resident and everything, but we're talking about paramedics and EMTs. It's hard to get that. We work 12-hour shifts in Henderson, they work 12-hour shifts. Madisonville does a different variation of 24s. But we're down now, just back up to down 2 full-time in Henderson. And, you know, we do happen to have more applicants because the fact there's no call. You know, but, and we are looking at that, the judge knows that, and, we've come up with some numbers to try to do away with the call. And that number grew tremendously.
He's scared the judge to death.
And I told him off the bat, I didn't, you know, and this was the best possible option to do totally away with the call. But that was gonna be a big expense.
I understand that, but it appears you're gonna have to do something.
We're gonna have to do something.
Burnout factor is getting better.
That is true, and, you know, my goal is to look at another possible option of a crew during the daytime to help take some of that alleviation away. That would be a lot less expense, but,
In mentioning that, I'll just add two things. One, I think pass along, and I try to do this when I see those guys, the court's appreciation to the ones that are doing that work and are sticking with us, because it's, man, that's worse than dairy farming right there. That's a lot of work.
and, you know, the ones that don't live here in the county, you know, and paramedic, you know, it's a 2-year occupation. You go to school for 2 years, just like being a nurse. The pay's not as well. Our pay is within line of everybody else around, but I don't want you to think that we're the only ones. Madisonville's down 6 or 7 full-time paramedics. Owensboro's down 9. And I'm not sure about across the river, but it's, you know, unfortunately, it's everywhere. And if you ask the state, they'll tell you there's more paramedics than ever registered, but how many of them's on the truck? That's what I keep asking. How many's kept their license up and working in the hospitals now? A lot of hospitals, Owensboro's hiring paramedics. When you get older, you know, it's hard to do the street job. And I do appreciate what you guys do, you know, we moved into electric fire stretchers and fire loading systems. Of course, part of that's been implemented by the state, that you gotta have these certain systems. But that has tremendously helped on our workers' comp. You know, I can't tell you the last time we've had back injuries, so, which is
Has there ever been any discussion on the state licensing branch about, I know, and we've talked about this, where nursing and paramedics are basically going to school the same amount of time, but the nursing prospects come out probably with the opportunity to double what they're making. Has there ever been any talk about trying to license nurses that might be interested in some PRN work?
That has not went through the state. That's never moved anywhere because number one, most of the nurses don't want to. They won't come down for less money.
Right.
You know, and for the most part, they start at probably $8 difference more, fresh out of school. You know, but that's been a big thing. And you know, our reimbursement has always been a big issue. House Bill 8 is going to committee tomorrow.
Okay.
In Frankfurt, and it'll be in there because if we could move our reimbursement rate from Medicaid from $55 up to possibly 3 times that amount, and not really change the dollars, it's trying to add our dollars and get federal dollars.
Yeah. That'd be a tremendous help
Support
to
we get of that, yes, sir.
a lot of them. Okay.
Chris, any of the options you're looking at to change the workload, any of those options is gonna be more expensive.
Yes.
So whatever we're paying now, it's gonna be more, and we're paying quite a bit now also.
And our finances aren't bad. I mean, if you look around, you know, we're doing a pretty good job of watching the dollars. So
Yeah.
I don't want you to think that. And keep in mind, whatever the county does as far as loss, the hospital does 25% of that too. So, you know, and the hospital knows the same, that we're hurting, and we're looking for options. You know, the best options constantly, but we're really working our people to death. And what's gonna happen is, as they do drop out, we're not getting people in. We are getting some younger folks, and we support them. We're strong support of the class in Madisonville. You know, I'm on that board up there. That's the only paramedic there in Owensboro, the only paramedic classes around. And the state changed that. They made it go to an accredited program. At one time, we taught paramedic classes here in Henderson, but the state did away with that. You know, and National Register did away with that. They made it have to be an accredited college, so it makes, you know, we looked at doing it at Henderson, and it was gonna cost about $25,000 a year, basically, to do that. And they just make it.
Yeah. The $25,000 cost to who? Henderson Community College or to
The
you?
accreditation of keeping a training site up to do that. And like I say, they make it impossible. It will have to be a college system.
Okay. All right. You said on the 4 ambulances, you were going toward four-wheel drives. Are you envisioning all four-wheel drives or just half the fleet?
If, you know, because what happens is obviously they rotate out, but it would obviously be good to have people four-wheel drive in the fleet. You know, and what we found the last time that we did a remount and a new four-wheel drive, they ended up same price. Actually, the new truck was cheaper, come in about several $100s cheaper than actually doing a remount on one we was going to remount, you know, because of the age of the vehicle.
So we would anticipate next year you'll be pricing a 2-wheel drive since you're gonna have 2.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe swap out every other time we purchase one.
You said you made a comment there toward the end of the ambulance's life, it's better to have a four-wheel drive, or did I misinterpret that?
No, I was just giving you an idea of where the mileage was on that four-wheel drive. That's the first four-wheel drive that we've had in the system both here and there. And it's got 71,000 miles.
I think you were referring to the use after it's, that it would be more useful for the county to,
Right.
when we take it back,
And
so.
the reason actually it wasn't just because it's four-wheel drive, it was a type 1 instead of a type 3. Type 1 is the full-size truck out front. So after we're done, you just take the bed off, put a flatbed on it. You can use it, you know.
If it was just that simple.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
realistically, that's,
Yeah, it did sound simple.
otherwise, they're cutaways and, you know.
Yeah.
We've got those things.
Well, we appreciate the info. We appreciate the work. We'll look forward to working with you more as time moves forward on how we can be of help, if we can be of help on the staffing issues. We depend on that. I mean, you know, now that my office is right here, there's several times a day coming through, and you know, our ambulance service is busy.
And I will tell you, our 2 counties do very well supporting each other. Okay? I mean, we support from here down there and down there up here, so, because, you know, they have more resources up there, but their volumes are going up. The volume here this year kind of leveled out, stayed about the same. Up there it increased to a record 250 runs over record, about 9,200 runs.
What did y'all do this year?
About 2,700. So,
Chris, I don't guess the new emergency room, I don't guess that'll enhance getting more people to apply. I guess they're looking at the dollar, how I need to make a living.
right.
And,
Well,
okay.
they're looking, it's easier to go work a 12-hour, 24-hour shift somewhere than it is to be tied up working 12 hours, 24 hours a day. That, I mean, 84 hours every 2 weeks being tied up, or 168 hours. That's what it amounts to.
Yeah.
We would all feel sick. Exactly. No, there's nobody.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
And I have people ask me, say, well, why can't you just call somebody in? Well, they've already worked 168 hours. How many of your nurses and stuff would do that?
And how many do we want to have to do
Have to
that
do that.
working on us?
Exactly.
Yeah, we got to look out for, okay. I'll entertain a motion that we advertise the 15th, 22nd. We open bids on the 28th.